we have our special guest. He's going to be taking over the call. Ryan.
Hello.
Well, I should give you a proper introduction. So, you guys know I've talked about Ryan on our calls probably the last, ever since Elaine and I started your class. I'm like, hey, what did we learn this week from Ryan?
Yeah, sorry for that.
No, it's a good thing. It's awesome, actually. So yeah, Ryan is a loan officer at Real Off Mortgage, but more than that, he also loves to help agents lead generate, learn how to set yourself up with your marketing. He's
Mhm.
if you follow him at all on TikTok, I love the new videos you're dropped in this past week with like the
Thank
background.
you.
They look so good. But he knows all these things. And he also sitting right, if you see the room he's sitting in right now, that is his studio that he made. And you can use it anytime you want to. He's amazing. He's got drop downs, he's got all kinds of cool stuff in there. It inspired me. I was like, oh, I want one. But
Yeah.
but yeah, he's all the stuff that we've been sharing with you guys about using chat gpt and some of the things that we went over in some of our mini trainings is all because Ryan's class. So I was like, dude, you got to come on. They need to meet the man behind my Ryan curtain, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to hand it over to him. I'm going to stop sharing
Yes,
and
ma'am.
let you take over.
Yeah, thank you. So once again, I'm very flattered by all the kind words, and we did not intend to dress like each other today, but we did. So that was a happy accident. Okay, so Alicia asked me to come on and talk about database. So you guys have this pie party that I've heard you guys mention a couple of times that's coming up. So and once again, this is open forum. Alicia, feel free to jump in and drive the conversation. But like in the years past, how do you guys promote the pie party?
Well, as agents, what we have done is Mark and I text our agents, email our
Hmm.
agents, and then I will call people as well. I don't know
Okay.
what everybody else does. Maybe the same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna start calling on people. So let's unmute. Let's talk about how you guys are planning on promoting the pie party.
Well, just because we're on this call, I'm going to do a video.
Okay, great. That's
I'm teasing.
fantastic.
I'm teasing. I mean, I would
I'll do
love
that
to, but
before.
that's just not my strength. But I can certainly try.
Okay, good, good, good. So when you have that video, what's the next step that you're gonna do with it?
I'm going to share it through social media. I'm
Okay,
going to
good,
send it to my Lofty, my
good.
CRM, send that out as a video. I'm not sure what the cost is on that. Alicia, you'll have to make me aware
You
of
can
that.
send video, text message, and emails from your Lofty account for free.
Okay.
You have 200 texts a day.
Okay.
You
So,
cannot beat it. Yeah.
yeah,
That
something like that. I
is,
mean, obviously, a video is going to be the best route to go, in my opinion. But
I love that.
what it's going to be and how it's going to go about. I have a good turnout usually for the pie party.
good.
I say because of our monthly from your friends and newsletter that we do,
Mhm.
we're pretty much always in front of our client. I'm getting a lot of my return clients calling me now because they want to list their property or something. So we're getting a lot of that.
That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So the one thing that I can tell you by doing a lot of events and inviting and that whole cycle, that if you think that just sending out one message one time checks the box and then you can move on and a ton of people are going to show up, they're not. Because
Mm-mm.
how many notifications are you guys getting per day? Now, my wife is not a real estate agent, but she shows me her emails at the end of the day, and she has ADHD, so she just lets her emails stack up. So by the end of the day, she'll probably have 50, 60 emails, and she's a stay-at-home mom. So I can't even imagine how many emails that you guys are getting at the end of the day. So sending one email, sending one text message, posting on social media, if you want this thing to blow up and have a lot of people there, you got to cover your bases. So one of my favorite things, and I actually have an event that's going on in 2 weeks. So one of the ways that I try to promote is direct messaging. Are you guys able to see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So what I will do is I will have a templated text message that has a bunch of blank spots in their name. So I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I will send out a text message with the invite link attached to it. Now, here's a quick tip that if you are sending out direct messages or text messages, the link has to be the very last thing that you are sending out. So it can't be in the middle of the message. It can't be at the top of the message, because what will happen is the URL will be converted on social media platforms, and the URL will be converted by iPhones and Androids, and it'll turn it into a little picture, which makes it feel less spammy. So what I will
I
do,
wondered why they did that.
yeah. So I
Anyway.
will take this message and copy it, and then let me send a message to myself here. Actually, oops. Okay. So I'm sending this to myself, and you can see I've sent myself a couple test messages yesterday. So what I will do is I will copy and paste that message, retype the person's name. So I'm sending it to myself, so I just retyped Ryan, and I hit send. Now by doing that, they can click on the link directly, and it takes them directly to the pie party invitation, to where they can save their spot. It has a Google form, those kind of things. So if you are relying solely on email, if you are relying solely on just a post or two on social media, that's probably not going to cut the mustard. So one of my favorite things to do is take and create a templated text message or copy, put a blank spot in it, so that way you can replace their name. Make sure the link that Alicia is going to send you here in a day or two is at the very end of the message. And then you just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So you can send out hundreds of direct messages, text messages, those kind of things very quickly. And your read rate, your open rate will just go through the roof, because I can tell you from experience, all of us get a lot of emails every day. And if you're, so Missy, you said that you're going to be posting on social media. If you have, and I'm just throwing out a random number here, if you have 100 people in your database, the chances of all 100 people, the chances of 10 of those people to see that specific Facebook post is low. So just because you post it on social media doesn't mean your entire followership or all of your friends are going to see it, because they may not get on, Susie may not get on to social media for 2 weeks. Like Alicia right now, she's out of office. So she's not doing her normal routines. So you kind of have to cover your bases when it comes to promoting something like this. So Alicia, you're going to be sending out the link here in a day or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a URL that we use. It's the same every year.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so that is the easiest way to do that. So, how many of you guys are relying on sending out text messages to invite people to the pie party? If you are relying on text messages to drive this, drop a 1 in the chat if you could.
I can't drop a 1 because I'm driving, but yes, I realized that text messages work best for people to show up.
Okay, good.
And then the good thing is Alicia usually does like reminders like coming up. So I think that helps us
That's good.
too.
Good. So there, as far as text messages are concerned, so taking this off of social media. So I showed you kind of, well, I'll just drop the copy paste in the chat so you guys can copy and save that for yourselves, and just basically replace the stuff that I put in there for my event and replace it with yours. Okay. So if you are going to be using text messages on your phone, there is an app. It's like $50 a year. And I used it when I was communicating with the Alicia's group for agent launch stuff. So it's called Hit 'em Up, HITEM up. Now it sits on your phone, and it uses the group contacts that you already have built into your phone. So within a matter of maybe 5 minutes, you can text message about 200 people that are in your phone. Now, word of warning, it will take you some time if you don't have groups set up in your, not group chats, but like groups of like, here's all the people that are in my family, here's all the people that are in my emergency contacts, here's all the people that closed in 2024. So if you don't have that set up front, that's going to be a little bit of friction to do that. But once you do that work, once you make that investment once, it gets so much easier to be able to send out text messages very quickly. So if you have a mass communication that you want to send out and you don't want to use email, Hit 'em Up is a great app. Now I don't know how it works on Android, but it does work on Android. But it is fantastic, and it is cheap, and it is very, very easy to use. So I recommend.
I saw Shannon raise her hand. Shannon, did he answer your question, or did you still have a question?
No, I was just, he said put a 1 in the chat. I'd already held up my hand like, yep, I'm
That's
doing
okay.
message.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She's excited. I like it. Okay, so we're gonna stop there. I have a tendency, and Alicia knows this, to overwhelm, give too much information. So I'm going to stop there. I want you guys to ask questions as we go. Once again, if I am talking in a way that doesn't connect with your brain, let me know, and I will try to find a way to make it work.
I have a comment. Alicia, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead, Hasina.
We have that option in Lofty, but what I like about what you're saying is that in our database, it creates a new phone number, and that causes some confusion with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, maybe the older people are like, "Who's spamming me?" Not that anything with age or anything, but I've noticed that my older clients respond to me back on that like forever. So now, and that's not what I want, because I'm not necessarily looking at those text messages on Lofty very often. So, because I usually put in there, I am sending this from my, however I put it,
right.
So text me back here, but yeah, so I like that, a different option to do the text message.
So
I was
that's up to
go
you.
ahead.
Please.
Just to piggyback on what she's saying, yeah, our Lofty does that. It gives you like a virtual number. That's your like office line. But is there a way, like if I have a group of people that are already segmented in my CRM, is there a way to add that into Hit 'em Up so that I don't have to recategorize? Because we actually have all of our people tagged as Pie Party in our CRM. So it makes it easy to like, just pull up Pie Party and you send those people your message.
Yep.
So I'm just curious if there's a way to put that into Hit 'em Up so you don't have to spend as much time like manually doing it. Do you know?
Okay, so I don't know, but I know that there is an option for it. So just with a generic Google search, import phone numbers to iPhone. So there are ways to do that.
Okay.
So it will just take figuring out what phone you have, where your database is at, exporting them. So like in my CRM,
and
are
being
you guys
able
still
to
able to see
group
my
them.
screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so if I wanted to export these 40, so I just click, they highlight all of them, export, and then just the pieces of information that I want, and it'll suck out those out, put them on my desktop, and then I would just take and follow the instructions that you find on Google, and then import those in.
Okay. That might make it easier for you guys too. I'll be the guinea pig on that, guys, and let you know how it works if you're interested in doing Hit 'em Up.
I do think as well, Hasina, I think that they changed the phone number thing so you can make it your actual phone number.
Oh, that's
you
awesome.
can assign it.
Oh.
I saw something because I saw something like
one of their updates.
Yeah, something, it was an update or something, but I think that's what it was. But I don't know what component it was that it was doing that on.
Like it might limit how many you can do at a time, I'm gonna guess. But
I don't know. But it was a thing of it gave you an opportunity to choose the number that you wanted it to appear from.
Okay.
But I don't remember if it was a text message or if it was a phone call.
I'll check into that too and let you guys know.
Nice. Okay. So last part on the pie party, which will segue into what we're going to be talking about next. And Alicia, how much time do I have today? I want to be respectful.
We still got like 20 minutes.
All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, so when you are creating an event and you're trying to promote event, pie party or other, you need to start your promotional campaign and work backwards. So the day of the event, that's going to happen. You can't really do anything about that. But that morning of, you need to be sending a text message with a reminder, something like, hey, today is pie party day. Here's the address. I'm excited to see you. So that happens the morning of. So you send the address. I'm excited to see you, and start times, like when doors open. Okay. So the cool thing is when you drop the address, a lot of phones, you can click on that address and it opens up into their maps. So it takes them directly there. All right. So that's the day of, the morning of. Okay. And the day before, you want to send out a reminder text message. Hey, just a reminder, tomorrow, like I use launch day. So tomorrow is Pi Day. So I'm really excited to see you. We're going to have a lot of people there. Are you going to be coming? Yes or no? So what you're trying to get from them is you're trying to get a soft commitment, because they gave you one commitment that they would come because they RSVP'd. Now you want to reconfirm, because people inherently want to stick with the commitments they've made. And unless like the kid gets sick, car accident on the way there, they will likely show up. And for you, it gives you an idea to pivot, or the ability to pivot the day before. If you need to shrink your food budget or add to your food budget or get more chairs or whatever it is, it gives you an opportunity, 24 hours, to kind of prepare. So the day before, you send out a text message to say, hey, tomorrow's the day. Are you coming? Yes or no? And make sure that they give you asking for a commitment one way or another. Okay. And before that, you are just going to tease the event. So teasing the event would be showing a picture of you setting up the room, showing a picture of you doing some background work. So the tease is the behind the scenes stuff. So like you can have a whiteboard that you just have all these notes just scribbled on it. I'm so excited for this event. Here's everything we have planned. I'll see you guys there. So it could just be as simple of you taking your phone with a whiteboard behind you, taking a picture, and then just sending it out to everyone who's RSVP'd or who has yet to RSVP. All right, so before that, you're just in your promotion cycle and trying to get people to come. So once again, you can't just rest on your laurels, and it can't be just text message. It can't just be social media posts. It can't just be email. So if any of you have done an event before by yourself, the promotional cycle is the hardest thing to do, and it's the thing that most people miss. They miss it because they severely underestimate. Like, you guys have seen an event happen and you're like, where the hell was this event? I didn't even know what was going on. Well, chances are they sent you an email, a text message, or something like that, but you missed it. So you have to overindulge, pretend like you're talking to a bunch of third graders. And if any of you guys have kids, you understand you have to repeat yourself like 4 or 5 times to just get them to execute once. So you got to give them every opportunity. If you want them to be there, once again, you got to treat it like they are a third grader. It's unfortunate, but it is the way that it is. Now, any questions so far?
No, I love this because we actually have a cadence that I follow.
Good.
That's very similar, but I don't have the yes or no the day before. Like, we have an email and a text that goes out the day before. And the email actually has like a map, shows them where to park, like the whole
Perfect.
thing, to remove any barrier of like anxiety that people might have. Like, oh, I can't go. I don't know where to park. Oh, I don't know where to go. Like I try to do that, but I love the tease of the event, like showing more of that background. I like the agent taking on some of that too with the whiteboard, or like just taking pictures of things that they're doing, like printing. Hey, I'm printing the labels for the pies, or just all the things that we do. So no, I love that.
Good. Okay. So that is just basically the promotional cycle. Now, the one thing that you have that I think is a miss that a lot of agents don't have is you have a team lead in Alicia that understands the tools that you guys need in order to make this work. So putting one video on social media probably isn't going to cut it. And as far as reducing friction for the people that you're sending the message to a landing page is by far the best tool that you can have in your tool belt. So Alicia's going to be sending that to you guys here in a couple of days. But like when I'm ever doing my promotional cycle, this is basically called a VSL, or video sales letter. So Missy, I know that you said that you're going to be putting on a video here soon. So this needs to be something that needs to be incorporated. Now, there's two things that need to be on every event. And this is, I've matured in my understanding of this just within the last 3 weeks. So how many events, masterminds, social media classes, CEs that come to this social media mastermind? And that's all they say.
Yeah.
So what's the problem with that?
It's just generic. It doesn't
Right.
sound very special. It's like,
That's
okay,
right.
well, I don't know what that means. What is that? Am I the one that has to mastermind? Like, who's doing what?
Exactly. So there's two criteria for me to put on any event anymore. So the first one is, what is the hook? And the second one is, what are they going to get? And you have to be very clear as to what they will get. So like, for example, in this one, and I even say on my landing page what you
I'm
will
going to
get.
that.
Yeah. So you're going to get the gear list. You're going to learn how to execute on this very easily, and you're going to learn how to edit the video by the end of it.
Mhm.
So the hook, what's the hook on this one?
2 videos, 5 minutes.
Right. Okay, so it's very clear. So it's not social media mastermind or branding mastermind, because that's very soft, very squishy. No one really knows what those things mean anyway. So you got to be super clear in your hook, and you got to be very ultra clear as to what they will get. So taking the Pi event, taking any other events that you're going to be doing from here on out, I would highly recommend having a landing page. Alicia's already working on that for you. Being very clear about what it is that you're offering, and then what it is that they're going to get. So the hook and what they're going to get have to be front and center.
Mhm.
So once you have that landing page, now you could take that link and you can copy and paste it into a text message, into an email, into whatever. Now, how many of you guys have used Eventbrite before?
Evently?
Eventbrite.
Is that the free one?
Well, Eventbrite it can be free. There are
Oh,
some.
Eventbrite. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
used Eventbrite before.
Okay. So
I don't know if anyone
predominantly,
else has on the call, but
so that's kind of the standard when it comes to promoting an event for free.
mhm.
So the trouble is, Eventbrite is clunky. Like, it is
I hate
multiple
it.
steps to be able to pay to go to the event or give your information, or it's not very clear as to where, when, those kind of things. So for the user, for the viewer, it's you're adding more friction needlessly.
And you never can find your ticket. It's like
Right.
you have to dig for it or log back in and then figure that it's like, I'm like, how, this is not hard. Like, why can't they fix this? Do they do that on
Right.
purpose? I feel like they do
Well,
that on
it's because they Eventbrite is not going to change, because once again, they have been doing this for so long, and they continue to get the feedback. They get more users, more events to be scheduled. So
Mhm.
it's this big hairy animal that it's not going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, I hate it.
So in having in-house your own landing page, so you can make the colors, the logos, the fonts, the videos, you can make it say whatever you want,
Mhm.
and the URL is not this massive URL link. It's like that big.
Yeah.
So it feels less spammy. So it's great that you guys already have a team lead that has all these tools for you. You just got to use them. Okay. So any questions about landing pages and how to promote and how to follow up? Let's let you guys ask questions.
So I have a question because I'm the one that does that for everybody. Because what we do is we create one landing page, which we use Google Forms, and that allows, which I have found has been the best one so far with responses, because I feel like everybody, no matter what their tech levels, pretty comfortable with filling in or drop downs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we have that because what they do is they pick their agent, and then they pick their pie, and then they tell us how many people are going to be coming with them.
Perfect.
And then input their name and their phone and their email and their address. So I use it as an opportunity to update database for people.
Yeah.
And then they submit it and they get a thank you. And then we collect, get all that on the back end. And then we let the agents know a couple times a week who's responded. So they know who they can thank for responding or who they can go back after in their database to stay on top of to get them there. So my question, now that you kind of see it very simply, it's very simple right now. Do I add a video? I thought about adding a video to that landing page. But because I don't want it to be my face, because I've got everyone in the company, would it be a thing to add like a little sneak peek from last year video, or just like a voiceover video or something like that?
So if you guys have gone to, that's actually a great point. So since you guys are a broad group, you can't have just one face. Otherwise, Alicia's going to be creating a landing page for each of you, which is time consuming. And once again, I don't know if it's the juice is worth the squeeze. Okay. So you've seen videographers walking around events, and it's not necessarily to promote that event. It is there to help sell the next event. So Alicia, once again, I might be throwing more expense your way, but like, do you have someone that's going to come and shoot the event?
Well, I actually am looking at having somebody come this year. Last year, we've had our own people just on their phones that came and created reels. Like I know Missy's daughter did some and things like that. And I have gotten photographers in the past that I could pull older stuff from to use, and then have my daughter Elena put together like a little video or something, or like a teaser video. But this year, yeah, I wanted to take and have somebody professional come in and do that for us.
Okay. So word of the wise, not every videographer that does your listings, that does your headshots, that does short form videos, like they don't have the same skill set across the board.
I know.
So like I have a shooter
I learned
that helps me. Yeah. And
the hard way.
that's right. So I have someone that I will connect you to, and
Okay.
he's wonderful for like shooting recaps. He does concerts and those kind of things too. So he's good. Okay, so have a videographer there to cover this event so you can sell better the next event. Because once again, people want to understand what they're walking into if they haven't been. So for this year, I would scrap the video, but just be very clear in your messaging and your copy on the landing page. So that way it's what's the hook, and then what are they going to get?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting a pie.
That's good. That's good.
A
Free
Costco pie. They get to pick they get to pick from pumpkin, pecan, or apple.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, a huge Costco pie. So it's very, and a lot of the people who come have come in the past, because it's repeat client, past client. It could be vendors, it could be, people you work with on a regular basis, your electricians, your plumbers, your contractors, it could be referral aid. I mean, it could be family who supported you, watching your kids while you're doing showings, whatever. It's just a way to show gratitude to the people who support us in our business every year. You're going to be getting an invite to the pie party right now. So
thank you.
You'll get to see it firsthand. But last year we gave out about 215 or something like that. I don't remember, guys, but we gave over 200 pies away. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's grown into something that's really awesome. We like and we like doing it as a group, because whether you have a lot of people come or little people come, it gives you that buzz factor because we're all feeding off each other. So we have agents who have 4 people, and we have agents who have 40 people come. So it's just something that we've done it so long now. I don't know that we could quit. Like people start asking pie party, and it's the same day every year. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving every year. And we haven't conflicted with an Ohio State game, I don't think yet. Like we've always ended like right before the game or whatnot. So yeah. And we did try to make it more than what it was. We like used to give out cookies. You guys remember that? Like we kept adding things, and we have found it's not worth it. Like it's just better to did I freeze?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
did.
I
did.
feel like everybody's frozen. Hold on.
Yeah, you never pause a Disney movie. You never freeze a Zoom call.
Did I freeze you guys?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
you
still
did.
hear you though.
Am I,
Just
am
turn your
I,
video off. Well, the good news is, Ryan, you have control of the board. So
Hey. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys one last tip before we adjourn, or I'm going to let you guys answer any questions or ask any questions that you guys have. Okay, so taking the event thing out of the equation. So you need to be reaching out to your database frequently. So I've done some research here recently, and I found that only about for the average human, unless they are autistic or a savant or something like that, we can only retain about 150 people to active memory at any one given time. So if I had to guess, most of us,
right.
we are outside of that 150 at pretty much all times. So the game is you need to spend as much time as you can to try to retain yourself or keep yourself in that top 150. So the problem is yeah, the pie event happens, but how soon after that are they going to think about you again? Is it going to be Christmas? Are they going to think about you next week, or is it going to be until the pie event next year?
Mm-hmm.
When they eat the pie.
When they eat the pie, that's good. So what happens is every time that you have a touch point with them, you're basically taking, where's my camera? Taking and flipping over the hourglass. And then once that sand drains out, you're back out of the 150 again. So taking the pie event out of it, you need to be staying in that 150 at all times. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a test here. So what is all of you guys are getting calls from loan officers and title companies pretty much weekly. Is that right?
Either calls or a lot of emails from people that just drop us on there. Hey, you need to know what our rates are this week, and they never don't even know me. Like
Okay.
that's the one that I see the most of.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is you guys are doing the same thing as loan officers, as those title agents. You guys are doing the same thing to your database. Your clients don't care what rates are if they're not moving for another 3 years. They don't care what their equity is if they're not moving for another 3 years. So the thing that since I've started retooling Agent Launch, every time that I reach out to one of you, to one of my real estate agents that I want to get back in that 150, I need to have something to offer every single time that I'm reaching out. Every single time. So when you were reaching out, you can't just say, hey, I'm just checking in. I wanted to circle back. It needs to be just a smidge better. And what I mean by a smidge better is you can be hunting on, I'll give you an example. And I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, Alicia. All right, so you can be hunting on a news site. So like Housing Wire, for example, and whatever it is. So you have, you find this article and you want to find a reason to reach out to them. So Hurricane Helen, whatever, you want to take this message, this email or this link, this article, and you say, hey, Joe, I was thinking about you. I read this article and I actually wanted to get your take on it. Now, you could be sending that email, you could be sending that text message to 400 people, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to bait them into a conversation. So that way it doesn't feel like, hey, if you know anyone who wants to buy or sell this week, let me know. And then the message is the same next week and the week after that and the week after that and the week after that. Because eventually you're going to turn into what loan officers do to you guys. So there are a bunch of different local resources like Columbus Underground, the Dispatch, whatever. So before you start making your outbounds every single week, you need to come up with a reason to call. In other words, you need to create an offer as the reason that you're calling, or texting, or DMing, or emailing, or whatever. You can't just go into it just following up, just circling back, just seeing how the family's doing. Because I got to tell you, that's exhausting, and you're coming at that from your heels versus your toes, and you're not going to be really enthused about making 100 phone calls in one day.
Yeah. That's so cool. I feel like Mark Garner, my husband, does this naturally so well. Like he'll see a funny article and he'll think of the 10. He has such a good memory though. Like that's not my strong point, but he will
Mhm.
think of like the 10 people he knows that would think that's funny and he'll send it to each one of them and say, "Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Did you guys see
That's
this?"
great.
Or, and it's just or he'll remember something they said like in a showing from 10 years ago. And he'll be like, "Remember that house we were in?" And da 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 da. I'm like, "How do you do that?" It's just his natural ability. But for someone like me, I love how you're showing like my mind works. I loved how your bookmarks were organized just
Yeah.
right there on the screen. That's how my mind like compartmentalizes those things. So for me, knowing I have a bookmark where I can go and get ideas to get my mind
Right.
kind of remembering or whatever is a huge thing for me. I think that's so helpful.
So when you're doing your reach outs, plan before you start doing your reach outs.
Mhm.
What am I going to be offering this week? What are we going to be talking about this week? Not just checking a box, I called Joe Smith and now I'm moving on. No, you want to bait these people into conversations. And if you're calling people, one of the best ways, and I got coaching on this, I didn't come up with this, is a voicemail cliffhanger. So like when I'm calling my agents every week, you guys would get really tired if I called and just said, "Hey, what's going on? Here's the rates. You got any leads for me?" You guys get really annoyed with that really quickly. But if I'm calling each week and trying to give you something, that softens that a lot. Now, on the voicemail cliffhanger, I will say, so like if I will have three pre-written video scripts that talk about rates going back up. So that is a huge pain point for a lot of agents is they don't know how to write video scripts for themselves. So I will have that written in a PDF and I will say, "Hey, Alicia, hope you're having a great week. I was actually just thinking about you. I put together 3 video scripts for interest rates going back up after the jobs report came back out. Once again, I would love to send these to you, but let me know if you're interested by shooting me a DM or calling me back and I'll be happy to send those to you." So
Yeah.
instead of just actively just sending it out to everyone blindly, make them do a little bit of work to show you that they're interested. And hey, by the way, if Alicia calls me back, I can engage her on a phone call. "Hey, what's going on this week? How's the team? How's the family? How's the trip?" Those kind of things. And I'll be happy to add her to the list. You got to make them do a little bit of work, but your offer, your hook has to be good enough that they want to call you back. Now, you're probably
Yeah.
going to have maybe a 75% no callback rate, but the fact that you are offering something every single week instead of asking for something every single week, that's going to put you back into the 150 really, really easily. And it's not abrasive because you're trying to give them something, you're trying to help them, or you were telling them that you were thinking about them versus, "Hey, you got any leads for me this week?" Or, "Hey, is it time for us to list your house yet?"
Yeah, I love that. I actually just thought of something that Elena, you guys just posted like the top things happening, in October, different things around town. Wouldn't that be a cool one? It's like, hey, if you're looking for great things to do, we have a list of some, places and things you can do, family for friends. Let us know what list you want. Do you want the
Yeah.
family one? Do you want the couples one? Do you want, that would be a cool one to send out too. Or just,
But
I mean,
add,
there's
add to the
some,
front of it, "I was thinking about you."
yeah, yeah, love it. Well, gosh, we're already out of time. We're gonna have you back sometime. That's
I
all.
would love nothing more than that. You guys have been
Right?
great.
Full of such great information, and I know your next agent launch is full. I don't know when you plan on doing another one, but if any of you guys, I know none of you have been, but probably me and Elena that I know of. But if none of you guys have attended that and you really want to go deeper with some of the stuff that he's talking about, this was probably what 15 minutes of the whole 16 hours.
Yeah, 16 hours. 16 hours.
So, I mean, you're going to definitely be overwhelmed, but you know what? It's how I look at events is if you take 1 or 2 things away and implement them, it's a success. And I definitely took 2 or 3 things and implemented them right away and still working on some other things. So, oh, you put the links in. Perfect. So
Yes.
And then, or even go to the one, if you want to get a taste, go to the 2 videos in 5 minutes. I'm going to be there. So if you guys go to that, we'll see each other and that'll be fun. I'm going to get my 2 videos done. But Ryan, I so appreciate you doing this.
Of course.
I love how you teach, and I love all the information that you bring. It's just practical, it's straight, it's to the point, no fluff. It's keep doing what you're doing. It's really makes a difference.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you for
we
having
got a
me
lot
on.
of great ideas.
Yeah. If nothing else, you guys are stroking my ego by having me on these calls. So thank you.
You're the best. There's no one like you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But
yeah, I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. Well, guys, I mean, and Ryan, you can stick around. We're gonna just wrap things up. But
Yes, ma'am.
you guys know what we got going on next week. Monday huddle call, noon o'clock. Noon o'clock. You guys
Noon
like
o'clock.
That? Noon o'clock. We have our huddle call. Thank you, Mark, for running the huddle call Monday. I appreciate you, babe, doing that. And then also next Thursday, we've got open office hours next Thursday. We will be talking more about the business plan and also working on our databases for the pie party. And hopefully by then I'll have some answers on the hit 'em up and lofty and share that with you guys there. And then next Friday, we have our regular Friday call. So that's kind of what we got on the schedule coming up this next week. But Mark Catman, I'm glad you got to slip in there for a little bit of that. This has been recorded. We will be taking out this part and making it separate and putting it up in our training suite on the back office. So you guys can just come and listen to this again if you didn't get to be fully engaged or if you didn't get to hear the whole thing. So awesome. That's it, guys. Does anybody else have anything they want to say? Why don't you guys all unmute and just say thanks to Ryan for coming on today and make sure that he wants to come back and say
Thanks,
hi.
Ryan.
Thanks,
We want you back.
Ryan. Thanks, Ryan.
We want you back.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, we want you back, especially me, because I didn't hear anything. Just kidding. I'll rewatch it. I'll rewatch it.
And Mark Catman is so good. He was doing some videos around Intel and doing that stuff. So he was getting really good at editing and doing that. So Mark Catman, if you get a chance to go to the 2 videos in 5 minutes, I think you would get a lot out of it because you're already on the other side of that curve. Yeah. So awesome. Well, that's it, guys. You know what I'm getting ready to do? I'm going to make you guys jealous because I'm getting ready to go out and I just got a text from my girls that they got 3 seats saved and I'm going to go down and join them at the beach or the pool or wherever we're doing today. We're just going back and forth, beach, pool, pool beach. So
yeah, rub that in our faces. Why don't you?
Hey, I'm coming back with a little bit more of a, I'm not burned, but yeah, a little bit browner. I guess that's not a bad thing. Tan. What does my one friend say? Bacon looks better cooked. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you, Shalonda. But you guys have a great weekend. If you guys need anything, you got my phone. Also hit us up in Telegram chat if you need some help with anything. Bye.